and you're welcome to the 10 lesson series on my book, Evolving 40 Life Lessons at 40. Today, we'll be looking at one of the lessons. Like I said earlier, the next 5 days, we'll be having 5 YouTube videos, and each video will talk about a lesson each from the book. And for the next 5 days, also in the evenings, we'll be having 5 lessons as well, each lesson per Instagram live session. So at the end of the next 5 days, we would have covered 10 lessons out of the 40 lessons in my book, Evolving. So let's start. So today we'll be looking at lesson 27. So lesson 27 says, you are good enough. You, yes, I mean you are good enough. Okay, I started the chapter by saying that there are really no limitations in life, except the limitations we have placed on ourselves by ourselves. So let me rephrase that. There are really no limitations in life, except the limitations you have placed on yourself by yourself. What's that to say? That is to say that there are no limitations in life. You can do whatever your mind can imagine. You can achieve as much as you can imagine. There are really no limitations in life except the limit you have placed on yourself. There are times that we allow limitations on ourselves based on other people's opinions about us. Don't allow someone else's opinion of you to become your reality, except it's a positive one and you agree with it. Don't allow someone else's opinion to become your reality. Yes, because you're good enough. If somebody is having an opinion of you that you're not good enough, that you can't get something done, that you can't amount to anything, don't buy into that opinion. Because nobody's opinion can take priority in your life except you accept it, except you believe it, and except you start running with that opinion. There are really no limitations in life except the ones you have placed on yourself by yourself. So like you are a student and in school, a teacher is saying you are a good for nothing student just because you don't know a course or because you didn't pass an exam. No, don't buy into that opinion. You are good enough. Sometimes we also choose to define ourselves by a circumstance or a situation. Most times we tend to forget that those situations are just for a period. A situation should not define you. So like you failed an exam, that doesn't make you a failure. So don't label yourself as I am a failure. No, that was just a circumstance. You failed an exam. That was an event. And if you sit down, read again, you will pass that exam. So you are not a failure because you failed an exam. You only become a failure if you choose to accept and believe that you are a failure. So your belief system is very important here. You are good enough. I need to say that over and over again. You are good enough. And don't define yourself by your past. Because most of us have chosen to bring our past into our present, and that is already affecting our future. There's a reason why it is called the past, because it's supposed to stay in the past, because it is an event that has come to pass. So let's leave our past in the past. Don't define yourself by something that happened to you in the past. Don't define yourself by a mistake you made in the past. Don't define yourself by an error that you made in the past. Don't let your past define you. You are good by yourself. You are good enough. And those circumstances and your past, if you put everything together, is working out for your good. Because at the end of the day, all those stories come together to make you, and you can use them in your favor because you are good enough, and there are no limitations except the one you have chosen to place on yourself. One thing that helps to remind us that we are good enough is to remind ourselves of past wins. Sometimes when I need to do something and I feel intimidated, or I feel less than who I am, or I feel I'm not capable, I just remind myself, I've done something in the past that I did well. If I could do well at that, then I can do well at this as well. And I use that to motivate myself, to inspire myself, to encourage me to make progress. So anytime you feel lower than who you are, anytime you need to take on an opportunity and you feel like, oh, it's not for me, I'm not capable, I'm not up to it, just think about this. Is there anything you've ever done well in the past? Have you ever earned money, no matter how small, legitimately? Have you ever accomplished anything, no matter how small? Have you ever passed an exam, no matter how easy? Just use that to encourage yourself. Use that as a motivating elevator to say, if I could do that in the past, then I can do this again. If I could accomplish that, then I can accomplish this. If I could take on that task and I delivered, then I could take on this. Whatever it is you've done in life before, at least there is one thing in everybody's life that has worked. Use that as a motivating elevator to move yourself forward and to remind yourself that you are good enough. Also, remember who you are. What's your identity? Who are you? I always remind myself, I'm a child of God. I'm a child of the Most High, of the King of Kings. So if my father is a king, I'm a princess. So if he could speak and make things happen, I can do the same. So remember who you are. Remember few wins you've had in the past and use these to motivate yourself and remind yourself that you are good enough. Never be caught in the web of I can't. Instead of saying I can't, say how can I? Remember, you are good enough. Thank you.